Everybody feel finesse and fine. When we wake up, a style is divine. Upper morning pressure with levels will go. Everybody knows. Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Everybody's acting cool and cordial and calm. Everybody's acting cool and cordial and calm. Respect. Respect for the elders. From 79, I can say 17, but 37. Brothers in the Jordans and church shoes. Jordans and church shoes. Return of the great RICO Toro. Shout out to Beach Bum TV. Just waiting for him to pull up, man. Hope everybody's enjoying their Super Bowl Sunday. Getting their biscuits ready. Garlic bread. Corn muffin. Right? Maybe a little bit of chicken gizzards. Where are the Iowa people? Shout out to Seattle. Gonna be a battle. Shout out to Seattle. Shout out to everybody that showed love to everybody, the great RICO Toro. Yes. We just waiting for him to come down on the microphone. Just a great individual. Powerful. The divine. Masterful. No one, and I mean no one, has ever educated the Sips the way this man has. He's brought a certain reverence to the people of the sewer. He gave the game how the game gave to him. He's the giver to the game. The marvelous, greatest, humanitarian. He's a veteran, car salesman. We just waiting, counting down the time. It's almost like New Year's all over again. Y'all hit the like button, hit the like button. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I'm actually excited for this one. Like you can see the power bolts in my hands. Let me lay a little bit of hands on you. Huh? Huh? Bring the moon to the river and the river to the moon. Huh? Super Bowl Sunday. Every time I wear my hat down low, a little droopy eye. So just everybody sit back, relax, get your popcorn. Hope you ain't spending too much money. Yo, Jersey Vic, long time no see, man. Where you been at, brother? Haven't seen you for a really long time. Get your potato chips, your sea salt veggie chips together. You cannot be on a diet on Super Bowl Sunday. That's one. You cannot be on a diet on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't ever recall sticking to a diet on Super Bowl Sunday. Thanksgiving, I have. I think I had like 2 or 3 Thanksgivings where I stuck to my diet. But Super Bowl, no. Animals around the room eating. 9 days. 9 days till Jersey Vic comes down. This is Jersey Vic from Garfield? Fairfield, Fairfax? Shout out to New Jersey. Got a lot of love in New Jersey. My people's in Passaic. People's in Patterson. Patterson and Passaic are neighbors. So we just waiting patiently for the great RICO Toro to come on down. Everybody getting it together. Like I said, once again, I gotta commend the people of the Burlington. Okay, like Burlington Cool Factory. Like I said, I just gotta commend the citizens of Sosua, the visiting citizens. Everybody getting it together. Everybody showing love. Don't let them bring you down. Make sure you get down. Okay? These bum they be hating on me on TikTok, calling me lanes because I travel. They're gonna hate. They're gonna hate. They're gonna let them hate and watch the money pile up. Damn it. I wonder if he knows how to get in. Rico, if you don't know how to get in, text me, brother. But it's pretty you've been on live before. If you're having trouble, just let me know. Yeah, but the return of the great Rico Toro. Everybody's just waiting, counting, counting down. Don't let them hate on you on TikTok, dog. Don't let them hate on you. I'm not rooting for the Eagles or the Chiefs. I don't like Mahomes. I root for the players during the game, just to watch a good game. Get drunk, roll around. Got the seat with the seat. Hope everybody's doing good. Just waiting for the brother to pull up. The great Rico Toro, the divine Rico Toro, the magnificent Rico Toro. I'll tell you what, boy. And one more brother pulls out their speaker box while I'm eating breakfast in the morning. All love, man. Everybody just Jordans and church shoes, baby. All the brothers from Tennessee that I met. All the brothers from SC, South Carolina that I met. And they see the real and they sniff the real. They say, listen, man, you can pull up to a block party in West Virginia and just get busy. Grab the microphone, entertain the people. Man, forget the Eagles, South Jersey. How come New Jersey doesn't have their own team of anything? Oh, I'm sorry, the hockey team. New Jersey ain't got no team or nothing. What's, word. Everything's gonna be everything. So just got finished a long, long breakfast. Shout out to Mouse Pier, man. Hope you still coming down, brother. I appreciate you, brother. It's almost that time, man. It's almost over, baby. I think I did good with some of my baggings. I think I did good. We'll see. Usually you gotta string them along. This is one girl, she ain't having nothing. Usually I string them along. 4 months, 3 months. I don't think it's gonna take 4 months for me to get back. Laugh out loud. South Jersey's in the house. Yeah, you got all New York teams, man. The Brooklyn Nets, Giants, Jets. Damn, how did they move both of them to New Jersey? It's crazy. They should have moved the one at least to Queens, Long Island, or something. All right, you got all the New York teams. Dun, dun, dun. I should have played church music. The return of Rico Toro. I think he might not know how to do it though. Over the weekend. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You're gonna do this live, get a nap, and then pop out. Word. Oh, here we go. The one and only, the only one. The groover, the mover, the Himalaya. Hmm? The great, great Rico Toro, everybody. What up, Rico?
So man, how's everybody?
Good. How you doing, brother?
Good, good, good. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Glad you could join us, man.
Yeah.
Miss you, brother.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really, somebody just messaged me that I guess they saw the header said so he said welcome back. I said, well, and this is what I want to say. I'm not back. I'm just checking in. Uh
There
just
you go.
just because I mean, a lot of people have been reaching out to me, wishing me well behind the scenes, and I want to say, thank you from the bottom of my heart to them first. Um, but you know, for the two or three people that been wondering and am I alive? Am I okay? Um, I am. So I'm checking in. I'm checking in for those two or three people that you know been wondering why I haven't posted in a while. I just wanted to have something a little definitive before I put up any more videos, just because in the last I've been in Florida 3 months now and experienced a whole lot of run around with the medical process here. So the only thing that's been certain is the diagnosis has been certain with all the medical professionals, but it's been like a game of hot potato as far as who wants to deal with me, and some insurance red tape that I had going on when I first got here. Fortunately, got the good news. In about a week and a half, I'm going to undergo the surgery I've been waiting for. So hopefully, I'll be on the mend after that, and back in full swing if everything goes well. I don't know, couple of months, we'll say.
That's good, brother. I mean, everybody's been pulling for you, man. I mean, like I told you, everybody's been asking me, about you, where you been at, how you been. You know what I'm saying? So I believe I'm speaking for a lot of people, hundreds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right.
How was
Yeah.
how was it sitting home and is it driving you crazy or you like you missing the Sioux or how is it?
For the first part, for the first part, I felt so shitty half the time that I didn't have, I didn't feel like I was missing anything, because it was like I was just kind of, you know, um just kind of taking the meds, going to doctor's appointments, trying to do my day job best I can still, and I was just sort of trying to make it through the day, to
Right.
where I didn't have the energy to be thinking too much about sosua, or you know too much else. So I mean, otherwise, like a healthy me would is stir crazy in this house. Um, usually my max visiting my sister here is like 2 to 3 days. Oh, so
Mm.
I would have been losing my mind if I was healthy here, just trying to do a routine, because it's just more difficult getting around here, and I don't drive any longer, and it's just, so if I had energy and desire to go out and do things more here, it'd just be a lot more frustrating trying to do so. And so I just
Right.
been really in the house a whole lot. You know, it's, and other than, it's like I'm happy to go out for my appointments and nothing else, because I don't know about you guys, but it's like when I'm not close to, when I know I'm far from 100%, I'm sort of self-conscious about going to busy places and just being out and about sometimes. So I kind of stay in my shell until till I'm, you know, closer to my usual self.
Right. Right. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
I I haven't been real busy. I mean, like I say, in the daytime, you know, I work, you know, but I mean, I don't, like I say, I don't have the energy to really get bored, you know,
Right.
so,
Right.
so
Right.
I'm happy just sitting on the couch, you know, for now. Um, yeah.
Have you been keeping up with the passport bro wars and the sosua wars and the going to Thailand and Brazil? Have you been keeping up with any of
I,
the
I,
online?
I haven't at all, really, you
Hmm.
know, yeah, I just, I mean, I don't watch a ton of videos in general, you know, and when I do, it's like 15, 20 minutes before, usually before the end of the day, before I go to bed. And a lot of times it's about like fitness or nutrition or business or something non-travel related that I usually watch. Once in a while, once in a while, like I say, if I see an interesting title or something, I'll say, let me see what this is about.
Right.
Um, but for the most part, I haven't been following, too much in DR. I kind of it, I had like a point or two where I thought like, man, I wonder if much has changed, and I'm like, where I did start feeling like, okay, you know, since I
Right.
lived there this is the longest I've been away. Um, so
Oof.
I sort of started thinking maybe I am missing something. I don't know. And so you know, but it's like I don't even communicate. Ain't even been communicating really with any of my stable or
Right.
what's what's left of the team. Ain't really no team left. I
Right.
there's like two that I communicate with, but only when they reach out to me and if but trying to keep a safe distance because I'm not trying to be their benefactor from here. Um,
Right.
they'll be there. That's the thing. You know, um, and so kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's just the best way for me to deal with what I got to deal with. Uh,
There's been a lot of requests that had been harassing you, like, hey, give me some money, send me some money, baby.
just one, just one, and I don't know if I told this story before, but I'll put it out there. Uh, but yeah, the Puerto Plata, one of the main Puerto Plata one before I left, because one got kicked off the team for the theft incident,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
but the other main Puerto Plata one, um, like a long time ago, like almost a year ago maybe, she was in a scooter accident, you know, and lost a tooth, and I didn't have no issues with her other than that missing that tooth, being jacked. It was kind of messing with me. So I offered to fix it because, I got my dentist. Shout out to Alex, who takes pretty decent care of me and people I send to her for not a ton of money. And so, Alex agreed to do me a favor and, hook her up for not too much.
Right.
And the girl never went to the appointment, and I guess it just sort of became forgotten. And she asked me like a month or two before I left, would I still do that for? So I said, yeah. I said, yeah, go, just go. And so, like, so Alex told me what it was going to cost me, and I was I put a deposit before I left with Alex, and then I was sending money to one of our friends on the ground there, um, and I would tell him, like, give Alex a couple thousand pesos toward what I'm gonna pay her, and give the girl 500 pesos for miscellaneous transit or whatever, because I didn't want her to be able to say I didn't go to my appointment because I didn't have transit, which she did before. Well, it was Christmas, and she had just finished. It took her like 4 appointments to get the new tooth. She needed like a post and an implant or something going on, and that's why cost a little bit. But like I say, Alex was sending me receipts, and Alex was straight up, and so I decided, okay, it's Christmas. Let me test the girl. I knew what was going to happen, but I did it anyways because I'm just stupid sometimes. So I send the girl like 10,000 pesos. So $180, 85, 185, something like that. And I tell her, Merry Christmas. You can have 5,000. Give Alex the other 5,000 on your last visit. And I asked Alex later, how much do I owe you now? And she tells me, I said, she didn't give you that? Alex forwarded me a voice message from the girl. The girl thought Alex was going to play that nationalist card. But Alex is like half Dominican, half Asian. Alex is a businesswoman. She don't play that mess. And Alex sent me the message, and the message was like, basically, tell the gringo you gave me. Tell the gringo I gave you 5,000 pesos. And so Alex
Wow.
wasn't about to tell me that she gave her money, that she did that because she wants her money. She ain't gonna lie. She ain't gonna lie and then just like, forgive the debt that I owe her. Um, so after that, I just cut her off. You know,
Yeah, of
um,
course.
cut her off, made her sweat a little bit, but you know, um, I just, I mean, I know what it is, anyways. I just had to, like I said, I just had to like say, okay, let me skip my middleman this time and just see how she's gonna handle this, because I don't know, I'm a glutton for punishment. Sometimes it's like we know that we know that we're not their fathers. We're not gonna be able to teach them responsibility or whatever. But I just wanted to see, would she, you
Right.
know, care execute, you know, my order on this. And but I mean, we're talking again, but you know, she hit me the other day with since I've been talking to her again, with my grandmother died, she's in Santo Domingo, can you send me something to take me and my daughters there or whatever? And I said no. I said no because I'm still paying off Alex.
Right.
Yeah. So, and but I know when I hit the ground, she'll come running when I call. And that's how most of them are. So, point is, whether you help or you don't help, they're gonna, when they see an opportunity, they'll come running most of the time.
They never really go far. That's what I was always taught by my master teacher OG from Santiago. They're old, they don't disappear too far. They could be married, kids. They're always like orbiting. The rings are in Saturn, just waiting.
Yeah,
You
it's like a revolving door. It's like I always say, over the course of say a 10 or 15-year period, they all play at different levels at some point in time.
Right,
Whether it's, you know, full on hoe and go thing, or, you know, working at Pliero semi pro for a while, have a gringo boyfriend for a while and slow
right,
down, have a Dominican boyfriend for a while and slow down. Then next thing you know, they got a drug habit and they're full hardcore hoe and go worse than ever. Um, you know, but they all just sort of they all sort of recycle themselves at some point in time in different
right,
ways. I mean, there are a few that you know move to the mountains and I don't know, settle down, but and stay that way. But a lot of times, that's when they get about 45, and it's not by choice anymore. And even them, and even those, they'll come back to town and try to sell themselves as housekeepers or
right.
massage therapists, and don't fall for that, guys. Don't fall for the don't fall for the 45-year-old that wants to that says she'll clean your house and give you a massage. Um, because then what happens once she get like on the cheap? Because then once she gets there, y'all have a little fun. She's gonna upsell, and you're gonna be sadly disappointed usually, and then after it's all said and done, you're gonna be like, man, I wish I would have just paid for what I really like from someone else. yeah. Uh,
Right.
but that's their angle. The only angle they could play is the house cleaner, or the massage, chick, because she's past her prime and she can't be as transparent with that she wants the bigger money for the you know gymnastics, as you would say.
Yes, sir. Or selling clothes. Don't forget that. Selling perfume, selling
Yeah,
clothes. Also, but it's usually a dude that buys it like in bulk, like in New York City, like Chinatown. They'll get like a bunch of like wigs, purses, perfume, and that'll be like also payment to help the chica out. Like, and just give it all to her and she'll sell it. But they never ever share the profit. That's one. And two, they never fulfill the job. They end up keeping it or losing it or giving it away.
yeah, it's like or hair. That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
Guys getting talked into like um investing in girls like weave hair businesses.
Right.
You know, yeah, I know somebody's still waiting on just a 4,000 peso return on his investment from the hair investment. Um, but
Yeah.
well,
It's not an easy game. This is what I explain to people, man. You can't just expect to come in here and touchdown right away. You know what I mean? Can't expect
yeah,
to just have it,
well,
have it, right away. Success. You know what I'm saying? I thought that when I first started coming down, I was thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna meet her. My mother had passed away literally like a month, not a month ago, but a month before I came down. And I had one chick I had met online, and another chick that I was getting put on to. And ooh, it was request after request after request after request. We, my refrigerator broke. I was like, Jesus Christ. And that's the beginning of where I learned. I was like, damn, I'm better off just getting, 3 boxes of ziti, one twos could do. and then and then just push her right out the door, and because the regulars are just oh, look at this dress. I tell people you're setting yourself up walking, going shopping, or going anywhere by a store, tienda, or anywhere. You're like I get it. Like in Santiago, you wake up, you have breakfast, you don't know what to do. It's hot, and in the beginning, it's like training day. They take you to like their uncle's house, then they take you by like their first cousin's like insurance company, and like I told them, it's like you just be a setup for slaughter. But when you drive past that La Serena, or you pass by like that little shopping plaza, because I just found out recently that they call all plazas malls. Because
Mm.
someone told me they were like, Santiago has like 60 malls. And I'm like, 60 malls? I was like, I've been to every mall in Santiago. I was like, oh,
Well, maybe. Well, we call things strip malls here, so
right. That's
maybe,
true.
yeah. Now, so rather than shopping centers or whatever, so I don't know.
I wanted to tell you the story. My boy over the summer, his mother passed away. And he just, because he's like, he's like the Dominican Cupid King, right? So he had a couple of girls, and he's been talking to them for like a year, and another one for like a month. And when his mother passed, the chicas were kind enough to give him like a 4-day reprieve from money requests. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Small window. Bereavement was like 4 days, and then they went right back in. I'm on, please, my son, and then the threats. Because if you don't comply, everybody's like, oh, my girl doesn't work in the street. She's a regular girl. She's a regular girl. And then the first time they need something, and you tell them no, they'll be like, listen, I need somebody that's going to support me. I need somebody that's going to help me. And it never stops. So it's just so disappointing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, typically, I guess somewhere around 25 to 30 years old, it's kind of like becomes traditional though, because if they're in a relationship with a Dominican, they're expecting him to kick out like financial support as well, though.
Right.
I mean, it's just even like I got a friend, he's a little older than us. He's been on this trying hard to date regular girls for a while now, and he met one, and she's like Miss Independent, own a business or two supposedly, and met her somewhere deep in the countryside, but he after being together a little bit, she's like, how come you haven't offered to help me out any? Like she didn't straight up ask him for anything. She just said, how come like you ought to be ashamed. A Dominican would have offered to, pay the cable bill or car insurance or help me out or something, but you haven't offered with anything. You just pay when we go out. And he said, hey, by my definition, like you say, you're independent and you got it. You're doing well for yourself. I didn't want to insult you by trying to help you out. So,
Right.
and but so that was one of those like kind of cultural lessons that he had to learn, that there's always a financial responsibility that's assumed, to some degree. um
Right.
my thing is, and some are better at sugarcoating or faking it than others. Like my thing is like through my ordeal now is like it's kind of like and I was this way while I was still in Sosua. Before I left, it was like it's like you're better. There's what I call like the pain in the ass levels. Like some girls are just a super pain in the ass about things. And my thing is, you're better at least when you reach out to me before you ask me for a favor, before you ask to see me or whatever. When if like, I'm going, health wise or whatever, I'm going through some things. Ask me how I'm doing, you
Right.
know, Don't
Right.
jump right in with what can you do for me. Ask me how I'm feeling, how I'm doing. Just fake it as a courtesy.
Right.
If you're not sincere, and but some just it don't click. I don't know if it's maturity or they're just really, they're just really showing who they are and what they're about, anyways. And like I say, it's any sort of, I guess, whether it be the transactions with the dentist and the girl or whatever. I always, not for a minute did I forget what it was about. I know what it is, know what it's about.
Right.
I just wanted to see, anyways. Sometimes you got to prove yourself right or wrong, whichever it is, even though you know what it is. Even though it's predictable, you just don't sign up for any loss that it's going to really set you back. Um,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
The
kind of
game
look,
is disappointing.
yeah. I mean, I kind of look at it like I understand the principles of it all. I talk a lot on that usually. I kind of look at it like I've saved a ton of money since I've been here, just not drinking, not no
Word.
debauchery, just not paying rent. So it's kind
Stacking
of,
it.
yeah. So I kind of like, what, if 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 my kindness or generosity or stupidity, you know, causes sets me back, 5,000 pesos, then I can handle it. And then sometimes you need those. Sometimes you need like. Sometimes you need like. I guess to make a mistake to make your next
Right.
decision. You know, you know.
Right.
So sometimes you need like other signals to help you decide how to move forward with things. You know.
It makes you
Uh,
tougher. Each situation makes you a little tougher, a little stronger.
uh,
And you're sitting there listening to their childlike excuses, and you're sitting there and you're just like, yeah, yeah. And they're crying over an extra 500, pesos,
yeah.
which
Well, I
which
think
is equivalent to like $9 or something.
I I think you hit the nail on the head. I think in one of your other most recent lives with the 500 peso number, where
Right.
all of us at some point in time we've gotten into a knockdown, drag out fight just about over somebody squeezing us for 500 extra pesos.
Yep.
And I remember very clearly, like the last time 500 pesos really was the final nail in the coffin of me cutting somebody off. Oh, you
Right.
know, uh, it was like, and it's just it's like I say, it's $9 and change, and it's not, it's just, but that's the denomination or whatever that seems to be seems to be one where, I mean, yeah, 500 pesos is a lot more to them than it is to us, but every now and then you got to look at it like, I work hard for my money,
Right.
and
Hell yeah.
and just like if you loan, like, a broke cousin or family member money, and and they know about your business and movements with your money, and they try to short you and not pay you back and say, well, you got it, you don't need it or whatever. It's like, who are you to say your money is more important than mine? you
Right.
know and it's the same. So once in a while, so we pick and choose when when to try to draw that line in the sand, and when we kind of write it off as like, you know, it means a lot more to you than to me, so I'll let it go. Um, but it's just sometimes we overcorrect, you know, um,
Right.
trying to balance it out.
I have like a little theory that I'm now developing in my Chica Siegel lab, and I think sometimes the guys play the game too by the book, and what I mean by that is just that they have a number and they're sticking to it, and then you know what I mean? Like sometimes they can surprise you, sometimes, but it's like if you really want that Seagull, that Chica, or that Mango, whatever, and you feel like it's in with reason. Like a lot of guys are like 2,000 boxes of ZD or 2,500 boxes of ZD, whatever. And it's like if she's still saying four and you really, really wanted it, you a car salesman, you know. But it's like you want to stick to the book. You want to prove to the guys that you're not a simp, that you didn't get tricked, you didn't get fooled. And it's like come on, guys, it's like an extra. Really, it's like an extra what, $36. If you really want that car, go ahead and get it for the weekend. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm like, you can break protocol sometimes. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's a big jump. 25 to 4. Um, that's a big jump. We got to be within reason, because if I jump too high, I'm not gonna be happy. And
Right.
if she like comes too low, she's not gonna be happy. Uh, so then it's not gonna, it'd be just a waste of time for both of you. But but my thing is you know if we got to be within reason, like we got to be within like a 500 peso reason. Usually I think is reasonable. Um and and maybe buy them a beer, or something,
Right, right,
uh
right, right.
sometimes that small gesture, um you spend 10 minutes with them, over a drink beforehand, can go a long way on the back end, and when you're too rigid, too by the book, um
Right,
the experience suffers. you know she's not as comfortable, and you know you may not be as comfortable. You may, when it's we all know what it is, many times. But when it's too business, too transactional, um, you know, it makes it a whole lot less personal. And
right,
and my thing always is like, I got to get you to like me just a little bit for me. Like, I mean, just like little bit. Just laugh at one
right,
joke. You know, just like give me 20%. You know, give me 10 to 20% that is personal. Uh, but if you go too rigid, too by the book, you make it 100% business. It's like they won't necessarily want to come back. They won't give you their best, and you won't want them back. Um,
right.
so I mean, just a little food for thought.
Let me ask you another question that was up for debate at the table today with some of the other YouTubers and stuff. We were talking, and people seem to think, and this is, I know it's true. I've seen dudes out there, pause, you know, muscular, well developed, muscular dude. You was a workout dude, that women may like. They like maybe a certain type of guy. You know what I mean, or whatever. And how much do you think that is reduced from them liking a guy? Like, hey, this guy's muscular. He's got muscles. He's a good-looking guy. He's got the right kind of sneakers on. He's got the right kind of clothes on. He's matching. He has jewelry on. You know those guys, the 17 guys. I say like the ex UNLV players. They used to play like back in like '97, that are all walking in a line to the VIP in our Rumble, and they got the custom jewelry on, and they got the gold plated jewelry on, and they're all walking in a line. How much do you think that guy gets off on money when one of the upper scale chicas walk up to him? Because there's a debate saying that they could get away with either free, which is almost impossible, or half of what they're asking for. So instead of the $100 or 100 boxes of ZD, they be like, oh, you can get it for half of that because you look good. Hit the like button, everybody. What do you think about that? Do you think looks can get a discount, a reduction?
Rarely, very rarely.
Really?
Um, because sometimes it works even the opposite.
Right.
You know, sometimes it works in the opposite because I've seen guys that were in good shape that spoke fluent Spanish or damn near, and like at a party I was at once, um, the girl it was a small beach party in Boca Chica. I remember clearly. This guy that used to go to Medellin a lot, it was his first time in DR. Spoke like real clean Spanish, was in good shape. He's like a Wall Street guy, and and there was only like 5 or 6 dudes, 5 or 6 girls. It was pretty even. Well, the girl that he was into, she navigated toward like the short, dumpy, you know, you know, 50-something-year-old chubby guy, kind of George Costanza guy. She navigated toward him because he was real chill and whatever. But the guy that still had all his hair, you know, spoke good Spanish or whatever, he seemed too arrogant to her. Um,
Right.
and at the end of the day, it was not looking for a relationship. So uh, she was going to go back to San Pedro or wherever she was from. And so she just thought that. So sometimes it's about who they think is going to be easier to deal with, you know? Um,
Right.
and sometimes they might see some diesel cat, some big diesel cat, like 35 years old, still pretty young, and be like, that dude's gonna be way too much work. I'm not gonna have that
Right.
dude throwing my back out, for less money, you know. And, like, it's like I say, they look for who's less work, and
Mm.
whether it be personality or other things to deal with. Now that doesn't now, I will say, like, clothes and style and things of that nature don't matter so much, but hygiene does. You know,
Yes.
like, regardless of what kind of shape you're in, don't don't be that dude wearing the same shorts and wife beater all day at the beach, to the bar, and then back to your room with them, without showering, expecting them to shower, but you trying to climb right on top with your dirty ass. you know, because
Yeah.
because because even though some of them, their hygiene's questionable, but I do think, like, our hygiene goes a long way. Like, you don't gotta use cologne really, but I think presenting yourself neat and fairly clean, good hygiene, I think is really the main thing. Like being in one kind of shape versus another is not really gonna benefit you a whole lot. You know, um, I can speak because I've been in. Not now. I'm a shell of myself. I'm down like 30 pounds, but
Right.
I've been in pretty damn good shape. Many a times there, and never felt like it benefited me. You know, um, there's other things that benefited me more, like the language and my silky bachata moves have benefited me a lot more than probably you know my arms or my shoes or you know so just you know
I've had a considerable amount of I ain't gonna say relationships, but you know, I've dated a few singles and regulars. And like I said, when I first started coming to DR, like Jesus, I wasn't at my highest I had ever been. I was probably at like my Jesus second or maybe third highest that I ever weighed. And I never like you could tell like I dated girls in the States or whatever, but you can see like certain uncomfortableness like when you're around like the girl's family, like in the States. But in DR, I never really seen that. At first sight, they're like, "Oh, whoa, get out the big plates, big man's here." But after a while, like you're sitting down, and it's like you don't really feel like that. Like they, if anything, and I've heard this from actual Dominicans, like in the hood, in the barrios, like when they see you that size, they're like, "Yo, he's gotta have money to maintain to maintain that. He's gotta be big. He's gotta really have money." So
I think
I've
that's how it is
always
in Asia.
that's how it is in Asia.
I think it's like I heard that in Thailand, like you're like God over there,
Right.
like the big dudes,
Sumo.
because they're like, yeah, because it's like it's like you can afford excess,
Right.
so
My thing I've been saying lately though is it's like the lower tier girls, across the street from Rumba at the Star Wars bar over there, the German bar, the Heinzel bar, and those girls are pretty much like 1,500 boxes of ZD, and it's like those girls maybe care about what a guy may look like or he's cute. You know what I mean? Because cute will get you broke. I mean, that's even in the States. That's in the world. He's cute, but some of you know, the better looking guys that I knew that I grew up with were the ones in and out of jail, the ones that went to the computer programming school, ended up stealing computers, getting caught, and the girls just went through hell with them for like 20 years. Broke, behind child support. So I just say that to say, like, to bring that mentality out here in DR, I think they just quick. Like, listen, it basically all boils down to what can you do for me? Forget you, meaning the man or the guy. Forget you. What can you do for me, big man? Because after that, because every time I've, did a little gymnastics, played around, sitting back watching a movie, the next day was just like $120 a day. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dang, like looking at a catalog, give me this. Looking at my son needs glasses. My daughter needs braces. School's coming up. Oh my God knows half of America paid for these children in this country schooling. But those yellow shirts are painful. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So I think someone looking good but not putting out financial wise, you could get going quick. The people, and I'll say this for the cheap seats and for everybody out there, for the world to hear, the people that are having the good relationships with Seagulls or these gorgeous girls with these small hips and the big derriere, like my grandmother used to say, and the nice nails, pretty eyes, and the little surgery on the stomach to hide the baby fat. I hate to say it, but those are the guys that have relationships that are paying every single day. Car, apartment, nail salon 3 days a week. Um, sons in judo. Like how rare is it that these kids in DR are going to judo? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's always been my theory. Like, the more people you talk to, the more you find out. And it's like, good God, man. Do you really love her like that? Does she really look that good? You know what I mean? Because it just keeps pouring, it doesn't stop. Like once you put $300 on the table, then a week or maybe a month from now, they're gonna want 600. That 300 is gonna be nothing. I'm sorry, I talk too much. Go ahead.
No, well, I think it's like in any, and I use this term loosely, relationship. Um, Once you set a precedent that you're willing to do certain things,
Right. You said that before.
you're kind of hooked. You're kind of hooked, and it's hard to scale back. Once
Right.
you open the floodgates,
Okay.
and it's kind of what am I gonna say? But that's where you just have to. I think that's where basically like that pain in the ass. They're a high level pain in the ass, and you just
Right.
have to at some point, you know, you have to be strong enough to walk away from it, or
It's
just
hard, brother.
or just accept that you started you created a monster and you got to keep feeding it. Um, you know, um,
It's very, very difficult.
yeah.
I mean, to pull back. I
I
mean,
mean, it
just
happens anywhere in the world. It happens anywhere in the world. It's like
right,
it's like I used to I call them in New Jersey. I'd see these young like 20 something girls. I would call mafia princesses. Um, you
huh?
know, um, It'd be like young cute, you know, chick driving like a Benz or something,
Right, right, right,
and her family has treated her to a certain materialistic lifestyle. Like she might be
right.
working part time. Like there was two that worked at my gym, cute as hell, and like I like. Of course, I thought about, man. I'd like to smash that. You know, but on the flip side, I'm like even though they're willing to work and they're going to school and things of that nature, they're used to a certain lifestyle that if you are their boyfriend or dating them, you're going to be expected to provide for them like their father almost
Right.
was, because that's the lifestyle they grew up in. They don't want to hear like 5-10 years from now that car basically is depreciated. It's got high, it's not worth much, and it's time to get another car, and you're their fiance at this point. Well, she's not going to want to go. She's not going to want to, go from that $80,000 car that her pops bought her to a Hyundai or a Kia. Um,
Right.
you know, so it's just it's same thing, but in this case, her pops created a monster. Oh, so uh,
Yeah, that's the
just
game. I mean,
just curious. I can't see the chat, um, but how many people? I guess type one if you're in Sosua right now for the Super Bowl.
type
Just curious.
one if you're in Sosua right now for the Super Bowl, baby. I know a few guys that are texting that are here. Type one if you're here for the Super Bowl, and also hit the like button.
Yes, hit the
Type,
like,
type one if you're here.
subscribe,
The man is
hit the
giving.
cash app, hit the cash
There
app.
we go.
Uh, uh,
You know what I mean? But so what is your outlook always been on the Super Bowl? Like, what has been your opinion? I mean, I know what it is 'cause I talked to you like a million times about this topic. But what is your
mm.
outtake on like, say, like last year's Super Bowl? Like,
Well,
what did you view it as?
Well, the first Super Bowl I was in DR for, well, first off, several years ago, like 2010, I was there for my big 40th. and I'm telling on my age. And I left 2 days before the Super Bowl, but I wasn't there thinking about the Super Bowl. I was just trying to celebrate my 40th birthday, and that was the first time I ever saw things roped off, and that was the first time I think they went to the VIP system. Meaning before that, like classicals, tables and chairs and seating areas in bars were pretty much first come first serve. So that was like an overwhelming amount of people that I saw, and I was like, I don't ever want to be back for this. Is what I thought, kinda. So the next time that I was there for Super Bowl was right after moving there, and it was kind of. I actually left for the weekend because I was my big 50th was on Super Bowl Sunday, and that was 2020, and that was the first time I saw a little bit of crowd, but on the like Classicos and a lot of the strip was closed because the mayor just shut it down. So things had shifted a little bit. Then you had the pandemic years, and last year was really the first Super Bowl that I experienced with everything fully open and no curfews. And my take is, it was crowded, it was busy, but for the most part, it was peaceful. I didn't see I didn't see any fights or you know, knucklehead, nonsense. Too much, nothing really extra. Just more people, and the I say this because somebody asked me the other day, like, what I thought the talent was like for this Super Bowl. And if it's like last year, there were a whole lot more. There were a whole lot more ladies in town for Super Bowl, but just mainly more like sixes and sevens, five, sixes, and sevens. You know, not a whole lot like I don't call nobody a 10, but not a whole lot like more like eights and nines. I didn't think just a whole lot more of that middle of the road type, and some that I hadn't seen in years came out the woodwork for Super Bowl weekend. Maybe there was a few brand new came out, um, and a couple of two or three of my kind of reliable sources told me that their pockets were light last year from Super Bowl, whereas the year before, even though there was a curfew, they made a lot of money. Um, and they were saying that I shout out to the guys that were towing the line or holding the line. What do they say? I don't know. We were keeping the numbers down. But last Super Bowl, like a couple girls were frustrated that I talked to afterwards. They were like, the guys were not being, you know, guys just wanted to chill. They just wanted to watch the game. They they had like I guess their regulars, like they weren't getting opportunities for what they wanted. Um, so they went home a lot lighter, home
Mm,
meaning Santiago, San Domingo, etc. They went
right.
home a lot lighter than the year before.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. The one thing I noticed from the first Super Bowl to the second, my first Super Bowl down there to my second Super Bowl was that it's just like when I'm here, and which I'm in Sosua a lot through the year, but I noticed the ones you normally don't see, you see a bunch of new ones in town, and it's like to me that was always like the enticing part of the Super Bowls. Like I can get new ones. I can get, maybe a girl that's just here just to get get the rent money up and get the hell out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
there's some of that.
you definitely see it because I'm out here all the time. So yeah, I'm
But
out here all
I,
the time, and I'm just like, hey, I never seen her. I never seen her, and I definitely go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
no, I was gonna say it looked like blind leading
go
the
ahead.
blind last year, because like
Yeah,
you'd see some that maybe they hadn't been to Sosua a while, and they'd be walking one direction. Oh, there's some guys in front of this bar, and then the police would be coming, and they'd cross the street real quick, and they just had this look like we don't know where to go or what to do. You know, uh, some of them, and uh, and some I think, even though I guess Super Bowl weekend really starts like on Wednesday or Thursday.
right,
Um,
right, right, right,
some of them I think felt overwhelmed and may not even made it to Sunday. Like where they were like where either they weren't getting blessed fast enough or chosen fast enough, and we're starting to question whether it's going to be a wasted trip or not. So they left early, Friday or Saturday, some of them. And then, and I think that goes on a lot now. It's not predictable where it used to be the buses come Wednesday, Thursday, they're full, and then nobody leaves until Monday or Tuesday after the weekend. And now I think a lot of times some of them it's the opposite. Some of them like strike gold early, you know,
right,
and,
right, right, right.
and go home and go home. They're like, they have a ceiling. It's kind of like the drug game for these girls sometimes when they come from out of town, they have a ceiling. And
Right.
I have these conversations with the girls sometimes, and like, and it has no rhyme or reason to the days sometimes. Like sometimes it'll be Tuesday to Thursday if they can reach their ceiling. and and if they fall short, they might go home. If they exceed it, they'll go home. But if they fall short, they'll be back Saturday. Um,
Right.
you know, it's just it just they have there's no rhyme or reason sometimes to the patterns of things now.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be a very tricky game. But I noticed that though the new ones stand out really, really quick. I'm starting to feel like some of the beggar kids outside on the tour guide beggars, or like the motocultural beggar guys that are like out there in front of rumbles. I'm starting to feel like them. Like you can just spot a new chick if you're here enough. You can be like, hell yeah, I think she's new. Because all the girls are like pushing. Like if anybody knows anything about barbershops, if you've never been to that barbershop before, they send all the new guys to the new barber. You know what I'm saying? Because you can mess his hair up, and you'd be like, I'll never go back to him again, and it won't affect the clientele of the barbershop. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So they all the girls be like, meet Wanda. Wanda, she's good girl. She good for you. She good. You know what I mean? She good, good. You know what I mean? So it's like they push it to the forefront, and you get to talking to her. 'Cause I had like two in my last like four Super Bowls. And it's like you're talking to them. It's just like they're so stiff. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they get to
yeah,
the room, and it's just like, you have now, you got, you want now, and then they like on the bed. Should I get on the bed? Should I get in the shower first? You know what I mean? They're always like they don't know exactly what to do. And then the other ones, you see them, they're on the phone. They got the belt off already. They're looking at you, smiling, like you know what I mean. They're more like more fluent, but the new ones are just like standing there, like they're still by the door. You
yeah.
know what I'm trying to
There's a happy medium of them being comfortable, like 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 the nervous one,
say?
because not because anything to do with us, but just maybe it's her. Maybe she is fairly new, inexperienced.
Right.
Um, and then there's the extreme, way too comfortable, like the shoes are flying off as soon as she comes in the door. Like, let's go,
Yeah.
let's go, let's go, let's go. Condom,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like, whoa, 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 slow down. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, yeah. So usually, the second type, you just as good as pulling out your money and putting it in the toilet and flushing it. You
Word.
know, because you can somewhat ease the mind of the nervous one, and you can you can bullshit the nervous one. You know, like you can make her relax and sort of entice her with like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't mess around a lot. I'm just take good care of me. I take good care of you. I'll have your back here on a regular basis. And but you can't tell that extreme hardcore one is just like way too comfortable. She don't want to hear none of that. She's just like, give me my 10 minutes and
Right.
and ZD and I'm out.
Right.
Yeah,
I tell people this is how the regulars form because you once they start doing things you like, and the next thing you know, it's like a point guard and a power forward. Like there's no language. We just look at each other like the baby legs. You'd just be like, boom, pow, piff, and they'd be like, lights out, baby. And then you wake up in the morning and over. Everybody knows their role, but the new ones, it's like, oh my goodness, it's left, it's right, and south. I don't like south. Without using certain graphic words, and it's like, no, 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 no. You know what I mean? Don't use the Velcro. Like, you up. No. Give me stop. Wait. Okay. And it's like, and then by the time you go get, like finally find that regular or that main or the one that makes you comfortable. I mean, you're already like deterred from the game. You know what I mean? Because I notice a lot of guys are like burned out from the game. Not even like, oh, I want to go to Colombia. I want to go to Brazil. I have a saying that everybody knows, but it's like no matter where you go, there you are. So it's like if you think the same thing isn't going down in Brazil or Pattaya and Patau and Vietnam and Cambodia and Switzerland or whatever, it is. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that when you have a regular that you can, soothe you and your team, and you can switch three. I think that's the true gift, at least for me. I don't know if I'm making sense.
yeah. God bless regulars. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, good. Cause you gotta have a little bit of stability.
Right.
Uh, I like things that I used to consider boring. Now I consider consistency. Um,
Right.
and I used to be all about the numbers, um, all about volume and numbers and quantity, uh, because I was intrigued more about by variety than I was like just a reliable go to on that consistency. Um, and I got that way probably. I was that way probably even before living there. I was that way probably like a year or two out from moving there. I just, kind of, like two or three I could call on that I was familiar with, and would throw a random one in the mix every now and then. Um,
Right.
and it's just I couldn't be like 100% exclusive, you know, for more than like I don't like to have any one person around me more than like 2 3 days. Um, and but so it's a little both, and I remember one of my friends, um, his first trip was back in like 2015, and he's a little younger, like in his late 30s. Doesn't drink alcohol, and he's in shape. So he's like ready to go at any moment. And the dude, his first trip was like he did just like a weekend warrior trip, and he knocked down like 17. And I believe him because every time I saw him, he was coming in and out of the gate with something. Um, and like last year he came back first time in a long time, and I straight up told him, "You're not gonna be able to find. I can't find 17, even if I look hard.
Right.
Within 3 days, I will. It will take me. I don't know if I see 17 new ones that are different ones that I want within the course of a month. Just the quality is not that prevalent. Um, I said, so I don't think you'll get numbers like you did that trip. Uh, but I mean, I'm sure he got some decent numbers, but not like that because it's just not there. So it almost just pays to go with what you know.
Right. Yeah. It takes a while, to build up a team. You gotta, the regular. You gotta go through kind of gotta go through the fire. Gotta keep flipping them. You gotta. I tell people all the time, you're gonna sacrifice $80. 80 boxes is easy. It's
Yeah,
gonna be you're gonna lose a couple 80s. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's the game. You're gonna lose.
yeah,
Uh, uh, uh go ahead.
yeah. I think I don't know. I think I set myself up in a position where I have to when I return. I have to find a new pretty girl. The the two the two remaining team members, they're not the pretty ones. You know, I mean, I know what I get from them, and they never disappoint. But they're not. I need that pretty one again. Uh, that's her job. Look pretty and don't cause me any problems.
Right.
Uh,
The show pony.
obviously, cause problems, so she had to go. Um, that they are so. Um, yeah, but I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it's each his own, and if whatever you're doing is working for you, then stay with it. Like we don't,
Right. For sure.
you don't gotta
Preference.
move like me or T.M.I. You know, uh,
Right.
you just gotta move to what works for you. You
Right.
know, and there's it's we're not none of us are reinventing the wheel. You know,
Right.
like nobody like some once in a while somebody will fall out the sky and parachute on the Sosua beach and think that they have like rewrote the book on how to move in Sosua or or play the game or whatever and the reality is it's still pretty much boils down to like you know she wants what you have, you want what she has. um and everything in between is as long as you feel like as long as you're happy at the end of your stay, that's all that matters.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's true. I just noticed with especially in the newer YouTube community that the threes and fours have just are just striking back. It's like they're bragging about these girls and the discounts and everything that they're getting, and discounts like a new thing now with a lot of guys. Like I'm getting a discount, I'll get a discount. It's like no more like we're not paying. Before that was the narrative. Like I never pay. Now it's like I'm getting a discount, the discount, the discount. I say the the special team girls, the ones that are on the developmental league, the D League.
The practice
Of course, they're
squad.
cheaper. Yeah, practice squad. Of course they're complying for everything. Of course they're gonna get the water. Of course they're gonna clean up the gym after practice. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I just hear so many dudes bragging about these girls. The ones across the street, Pedro Casante, or on the corner, 2 in the morning. It's just like,
Yeah.
don't brag to me about how good you're doing with stuff like this. Like I always
There's
considered the baby lady like a high 8. You know what I mean? So go ahead. What are you saying?
there's nothing really to brag about what you come in contact with at 2 a.m. on Pedro Sante is there's nothing to brag about. You know,
Right.
a lot of times those are like bad late drunk decisions. Um, sometimes they work out, sometimes they go bad quickly. Oh,
Right.
and you know, I mean, like I said, each his own. As long as you know what you're doing makes you happy. Um, you know, but yeah, and like I say, to some, it's like what we can, we've been there enough. We're from areas that are like, cultural melting pots. So,
Right.
to some, the more the how do I say, some look at some of these girls and they grew up in parts of the states where there wasn't a lot of cultural diversity. So some of them, the more what we would find screwed up looking about a girl, they consider exotic, you know?
Right.
Like, oh, she's so exotic. It's like, she's got more scars and, you know, um, just basically just rough looking. They'll consider, oh, that's natural, that's exotic, and it's because they haven't seen anybody that doesn't look like them, or their sisters and cousins. Um,
Right.
you know, so so that's what I guess floats their boat. Um,
Right. Well, I mean, I've never ever denied this, and I always was. I even commended myself for saying this, but I always been the guy out there looking to be like, hey man, maybe I could help you out. Maybe I can get you a better life, girl. I can make you. I can take you. I can turn you into a star, girl. You
mhm.
signed my contract. I thought the baby lady was it, man. Had high hopes for that, and it was just like I believe Super Bowl weekend. Right after she had the baby, she showed me who she really was. All of them cannot refuse that type of money, that type of
Yeah,
seed.
ride
All of
with
them are
me.
gonna
The
be like,
elevator goes just to the top floor.
right. They all of them have
I'll
that
have your
itch.
name and
It's like
lights. I'll have your
they
name and
gotta.
lights, girl. Yeah.
You can be a star,
All your dreams will come true. Yeah.
but it's
Have your
like
name and lights and fur around your neck and
I
yeah.
always thought I could
All
take
that
a.
glitters will be gold, baby. Yeah.
I always thought I could take one off the streets. You know what I mean? I could. I always wanted to do that with more of an effective one, though. And I know a lot of dudes have done it,
It
man.
just
And it's
don't
just like
work. It
does
just it just don't work. It's like,
either way.
yeah, it
You're
doesn't work.
paying
You know.
because when you start flying down in San Domingo and you're coming home into your apartment that you paid for, and she's living there with her and her son, and you're pulling in there and be like, oh. This is my cousin. Who?
Yeah.
My cousin's staying with us for a little while. And we all know who the cousin is. Bah, 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 bah. But
Mm.
at the end of the day, I mean, it's like, okay, you stay in the States, you stay miserable, alone, bored, some at least you can feel in the morning like, hey, this is a fake relationship, but it's soft and warm right now. It pretends like it loves me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That's just the way I look at it. But it's like I accept the game for what it is, Rico. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, really, that's all any of us could do is like, regardless of our positions, is be aware, be aware of what things really are. You know, um,
Right,
like when you try to change it and force it into something that is not, or pretend that it's something that is not, you know, um, and that's in any like relationship or position. It's you can only lead yourself into disappointment. Um,
right,
when you start thinking that things will change or you can change a person, um, a lot of times, I said this before when I talk about some of my drama with Amiga Loca. It's like you can change their environment, but they got deep seated issues and demons and things that will not will reveal themselves anyways. you know
yeah,
so so changing their environment only temporarily might make them become or be what you want them to be.
right,
you know
right,
but but I look at everything pretty much as temporary. So that's my expectation of most things. Like, ride it till the wheels fall off. It's temporary. you know but trying to think like in terms of you know and then I'm that way, like whether it's in America or DR, anywhere, is like, make the best of things as they are now. But when you start having too many when you start having expectations and of someone else, you know it leads to disappointment. um
right,
so you got a good situation, whether it's for an hour or 24 hours or a week or a month, ride it till the wheels fall off, and and hope to not take too many L's in the process. Um, you know,
I always look at it like the NFL. Like, you're having a good game, you have a bad knee, you get it opened up, cleaned, or we get it wrapped up. But I always know in the NFL, there could be that one hit that can either kill you or, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Spinal injury where it could be paralyzed. The game is similar to the NFL. Like, you
yeah.
could seriously be hurt in this game. Your
Remember,
heart.
remember the wide receiver, Chris Carter.
Yeah.
I remember something he said, like that like an OG before him said to him. He said, you know, take from this game, you'll look back and you'll see that your time was short in the NFL. So take from the
Wow.
game as much money and memories as you can.
All right.
And while we ain't necessarily walking away with money from the travel game, uh, you know, we do collect a lot of memories. So so
True.
you, so you make the most of your memories, and understand that that's what it is. It's relationships, some form of fashion, friendships, and memories, uh, and you take, without, you build those, but you know, um, because nothing lasts forever.
No, I look at the moment. You know what I mean? More than like the whole kit and caboodle. Like, you ever go like at Puerto Plata, and you'll be out there, and you'll see like the real old dude. He's like 70 with the like younger, like 37-year-old fat round Dominican girl. They're a couple. They got like two kids, and it's like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, like I don't know if I would be happy with that too. Like, yeah, she doesn't cheat on me. She's good, and the narrative's always the same. I know she doesn't look like some of the other girls out there in the street, but it's like I don't know if that would make me happy.
Well, well, at that point, at that point, you're happy that someone to kind of look after you if you're sick, you know, uh, you know, um, health has a lot to do with it.
Hell
You know,
yeah,
health has a lot to do with it because like I mean, yeah, I pretty much figured that out myself. But regardless of where you are, but at least DR, it's basic care is pretty cheap and easy to have. So you may want to, when you get really up there in age, if you got somebody that maybe is a little past their prime or whatever, that won't steal from you, that treats you fairly well, you might want to keep her kind of close, just to go get your medicine and bring your soup and things that you're not, if you're not fully self-sufficient anymore, you know
right,
um so I can kind of understand that, because it's like, you're 75, you're not necessarily whether you're, I mean, old Bruce gets around still. He's got the
uh-huh.
energy and the health or whatever, but he's an exception. But a lot of older guys, though, it's like, you're not gonna be doing the same things you did in your 40s and 50s. So
Right,
so
yeah,
you
true,
kind of need somebody to bring the party to you, a little
right,
bit. And for the most part, you just dip on the side every now and then. You know,
right.
you
Well, I
know.
noticed that a lot of the older OGs, I call them the old OGs, and the guys are sitting in like new cafe, and they're talking about their relationships, and most of them are all dealing with the Haitian girls. Can they do anything and they take anything as far as money wise? But and it's like they'll be talking about the game, and I'll be like, just because they're older, but it's like I disagree with a lot of stuff that they say. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm always sitting back listening, like, okay, I'm gonna really get some great information now because this dude has got me by 50 years almost. No, I'm 50, so he ain't 50 years, but he's got me almost by 40 years. And I'm thinking he's
Yeah.
gonna give me some great game, and it's like he tells me how he goes about handling his women and juggling them, and it's like, ugh. And now I'm starting to think you're right. They just gotta someone that just comes in, do what they do a little shopping at the pharmacia, and then that's it. And it's like, damn. But you're getting, I don't think you're getting satisfied with that process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it comes down to. They know what works for them
Right.
at a certain point, and it may not work for you or the next man.
All right.
Um,
That's a great line. Yeah.
but it's worked for them. So you know, um, and some guys just get it stuck in their head, like, I am so happy with my system that it's the only system for not just me, but for you. So buy the book for 19.99 and
Right.
follow it from, to the letter, and you'll be equally happy. But some guys just are that. stuck on like what works for them must work for everybody else or make them happy, but it's not always that way, you know. Because we all have different things we enjoy, different things we're willing to tolerate, you know,
Yeah.
different things we're willing to do and not do, and different things we expect. So there's no one size fits all.
I like that line.
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
line. Yeah, I guess you're right. Whatever works for you might not work for me, and vice versa, or whatever. But
And
I think that,
some guys are just lucky. Some guys are just lucky because some of the OGs, they're doing the same thing, the same, whether it be to the financial figures, to everything. They're at the same point they were back in 1992 when they first started traveling.
right,
And it's still working the same way for them or whatever. Um, but let's be honest, most of us won't be impressed with their roster. Um,
right,
you know, uh, you know, uh, and and then there's, most have evolved. I mean, I've sort of, I'm reasonable. I'm reasonable enough to make sure I'm still gonna be happy. You know, like I've gotten like I started traveling in 2008, and I've gotten a few pay raises, since then. Um,
right,
and I'm aware that, you know, um, the cost of everything has everything from gas to electricity to bag of rice
right.
has went up since then. So as long as I feel like, so I believe in, you know, I believe I have to be fair in order to really get what I want to get, you know, um, from who I want to get it from, and
Right.
and have certain and have like be able to maintain a certain standard, um, not just based on like what somebody will do for me, and
What
so
do you think about the theory? There's another conversation we had this week or this weekend, should I say? But the debate of just pay them to leave, just leave as soon as there's trouble. Just here, take because people are like, I'm never gonna pay the whole amount because there was no gymnastics. I'm gonna only pay half, and they sit there and they put up a little protest, kicking and screaming or whatever. And I always was taught, I believe it's by flip flop somebody, but just like it's not worth it. Just pay them and let them go. Give them the whole amount and send them on their way. But I dealt with a few that were willing to take half without any fight. You know what I mean? So what do you think on that? Pay them to leave.
I'm a little more flexible. That's an area that I've evolved on a little bit, and I mean, like I said, we've all had that 500 peso dispute, um,
Yeah.
but I believe knowing all I know now, for the most part, and I believe basically sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and do that,
Right.
because it's just not worth it. I've seen too many people get caught out there, um, whether it be that same night or a day or two later, get set up, you know, um,
Ah.
you, so now I'm kind of like sometimes, some like I've had my when I used to earlier in my travel days when I would get sloppy drunk every night, try to do 2 or 3 a day, was dealing with a lot of randoms and late bad drunk decisions. Maybe one per trip would be like out of control. And because I was trying to do so many and party so much, I was adamant about trying to save 500 to 1,000 pesos wherever I could, because my budget was stretching thin, etc. But at some point, I learned, you know what? It was my fault some of those times, because I was too drunk or too much to deal with, and just my expectations or demands were too high. So, I think it's easier. It's easier now to just, you know, accept the loss sometimes, and you know, give get them out. Uh,
Right.
get them out. And on their way, and you know, tomorrow's another day. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, I used to try to like put my foot down, and you know be a hard ass about it, and you know I've seen too many. Like I say, I don't think I never been set up or had it really come back to me, but I've seen a lot of that over the years where it comes back to guys when sometimes when they try to, they feel like half the service, half the pay, get out. I've seen it come back to guys in a bad
Yeah,
way.
they don't see it that way. They
Yeah,
see it as soon as they enter that room. And I told guys, this is firsthand experience. I can even point out the girl that happened to. We were super cool now, but we were walking out the door and it was just like, well, you didn't rotate the tires and you didn't check the oil, and as we're walking out the door, and right when we both paused at the door, all of a sudden you just heard doof, and she instantly like raised like reached out with her hand to try to open the door, and then boom, it was like an epiphany, like just a beam of light that just hit me, like in the Blues Brothers with John Belushi, like yo, they do all their like debating and negotiating inside the room. So I say that to say, like, like if you could get them outside the room of the hotel, like I think you're pretty much 50-50 shot of at least trying to win your dispute, because now
yeah,
they're the hotel's problem. They're no longer your
right.
problem. You know what I mean? So if she's throwing a fit in the hallway of the hotel, then she's really got to go.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
I think you lose all leverage when you're behind that closed door with them. Um,
Right. Because they're already in.
and like I say, yeah, if, if you can get them out there, or if you do have security involved or something, you can, you got a 50-50 chance. I've seen some like where things got ugly between two people,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, the girl's leaving with nothing, and like absolutely nothing. Like security was like that forceful getting involved, and the guy tried to give her something in the middle. She wouldn't take it, and just the timing of it, she ended up with nothing. And and it just, it happens. You know, uh, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think basically, I'm kind of just of that mindset now where, it's just, I want to keep the peace, and living there, being long term, will change your mentality, because, you you want to set a precedent that you're not a sucker, um, you know, but you also want to, you value your health and your safety, you know,
Right,
and things. So you learn how to finesse certain situations a little differently. Um, and like I don't. The only issue I had was like a regular or two that got too comfortable. You know, uh,
right.
I never had any issue with like any like random new ones while I was living there, because I felt like I learned to choose better. I learned to pick my random new ones better, um, to where I could pick. It's not an exact science, but I'd be like 98% that wasn't going to be any incident. You know, um,
Right.
or and some of the ones like early on when I used to come for a week or so, a couple times a year. Some of the bad apples or whatever. Some that I did have those random, did have like random disputes with or something once in a while. I'm a glutton for punishment, so sometimes I see them a next trip or even a day or two later. If I thought they were really cute or something, I'd strike up a conversation. I would tell them about themselves in the street, and they would usually flip it back like, "Well, it was your fault. You were too drunk," or something.
Right.
But if I really was kind of digging them, I'd give them a second shot.
Yeah, me too.
I've like had some of my best regulars were those that I was willing to give a second chance to. That everybody, including myself, questioned whether I was a fool or not for doing so. But sometimes, like I say, those second chance ones, sometimes I don't know, they get it together, and second time around, and ends up being great performance, and you find out they're pretty cool actually, or whatever. It's just that you got off on the wrong foot the first time. It's like everybody has a bad day, and if you're bringing somebody back to your room at like 3 a.m. from the club, you're drunk. Maybe she is, maybe she's not. You don't know what kind of bullshit she might have collected throughout the day. She might have started her day off happy, bright eyed, bushy tail, you know, and then as the day went on, she might have had like, bad experience with security somewhere, or the police, or, Papi Chulo, or, you know, Haitian girl, or guy at the gas station. You don't know what kind of drama throughout her whole day she might have accumulated by the time you took her home that night. And you know, and sometimes it just all comes to a head on your watch.
Well, there's always gonna be something. That's 100%. It's just never. Even me and the baby lady had some pretty good ones. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, don't start. And it's always like I'm getting ready to drop her off, and it's like, you remember what you said? Like I was telling someone the other day, it was like you got to look at it like your main. You got to kind of look at it like you put your wife through college. I'm pretty sure a lot of every all these dudes out here, travelers, whatever, they put their wives or women through college, and it's like imagine you putting them through college, helping them get their brakes fixed in their car, and every other day you have gymnastics with them. You wake up and they'd be like, 60 boxes is easy. You know what I'm saying? Be like, what kind of like is this? And with the baby lady, I always used to be like, the baby lady is, guys, if you're just watching and don't know me, she's the girl that I liked a lot that smoked the streets. And, yeah, And I was with her for like almost 2.5, 3 years or whatever. But you know, sometimes I have to remind myself. So the days where I be like, look, dropping you off at work or whatever, I have 2,500. That's all I got, and I give it to you next time I see you. You Meneroso. Diablo. No, no. To get her out the car. And then next thing you know, it's like, I got to pull over. And then it's like, you really want to go through all of this of being late for work, me going back to the hotel, get my card, go race back to the bank, stand online because there's always a line at the ATM to get you your money. See. Like, all right. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Word. It's like the reasoning and rationalization of these people are just distorted. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I don't know if if you ever dealt with that side of the spectrum of the many layers and colors of sosua, but it's no matter what how much I've done, it's always like the next day. This is a new day.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's just women in general. I think you know,
Yeah.
like they want they want credit for everything they've done for you since the beginning of time. Um, but they only give us credit. They only give men credit for what he's done for them lately. You know, like
Right.
they say, "What have you done for me lately?" Like we don't get a lot of credit for the past. Until there's a problem. Until there's a fight and like a breakup or whatever, or a pause in communication for a few days, then they might reflect on some things and think about like, well, up to this point, you know, uh, it's pretty good to me. There was this time, helped me fix the car, or you know, helped me out. My son was sick, or whatever. But in the moment, they'll only give us credit for right now.
Right.
Um, yeah.
And dudes are still getting got for the same excuses. My son is sick, my grandmother's sick. I need milk, milk, medical, milk.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean? And it's like you'll be talking to somebody, yeah, her grandmother's sick, like, ooh, she got him.
uh,
They, they got one. I always say that they're up on the scoreboard. I don't know how you feel about that theory, but I always think they're doing way better than us as far as the lie department.
I mean, there are those that they have their moments where they're collecting a lot from a lot of different sources, and then they have their moments where nobody's answering the bell.
Right,
To where it's just like nobody wants to see them, nobody's returning their calls, nobody's willing to send or give. It's like the when it rains, it pours.
right, yeah, yeah, oh yeah. It's always the worst situation. It's always death. You know what I mean? It's always the worst situation. It's always like, everything's on the line. I'm on. They keep calling and calling and calling. And as soon as you give in, you just,
Yeah.
you're meat on the wire. I'm just waiting. Because none of it's true. As much as it sounds like it's real, it's really not true. I fell for them, in the beginning stages. You know what I mean? It's just like, sometimes it's almost like you want it to be true. Like, please let this woman's aunt be in a coma in the hospital.
Right. Right. I mean, it'd be
So it could
really
be true.
sad, but I would appreciate that it's true. Yeah.
Right,
Mm.
right,
Yeah. I mean, just the ability of just saying no, is something that we all got to have. Um, most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's like when you, and also when you send a text, there's no point in explaining after you say no. Like
Right.
you
Right.
could respond, no, I just paid my car insurance, my electric bill, or, you know, I got bills too, or this, or this. Soon as they see no, they don't read any further. They're just like, okay, I have to find another source now. Uh,
Right.
and that's whether they're asking you directly for money or they're asking for your time for money. As soon as they see no, they've moved on. They don't need to read any further. That's why, like we tend to, most of us is fairly intelligent, you know, um, Americans. We tend to over explain ourselves, and so we'll be like, no, blah 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 blah. Just because it makes us feel better about ourselves if we offer an explanation. But the reality is, we're all grown, and you don't owe anybody an explanation. If
Right.
you're willing to do something, yes. See, if you're not, just say no. And anything further is not really necessary, and it's not going to help the situation. It's not going to change the answer.
I always learned giving in is like really bad. You know what I mean? Like, all right. Like, how much? You want sneakers? Here. And then it's like a month later, it's like way worse than it ever was before.
Yeah,
Or playing dumb. You could be like, hey, I'm like, who is that girl? And she'd be like, oh, it's my son's father. It's always their son, their son or daughter's father.
yeah,
And you heard dude, and obviously I don't know that much Spanish. Even the dudes I know that do speak pretty good Spanish, the dudes are on the phone just ballistic. It sounds like that. So I I'm just like, yeah, okay, that's your son's father, yeah. But at the same time, it's like it could be the boyfriend too. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's like pseudo spies. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
Like the Cold War. you know?
yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know. I think you have to not care. You know,
Right.
you have to just,
Right.
you have to just. That's where you just have to be like, this is what it is. Either I'm willing to accept a certain amount of the terms, accept the terms that I know, and also accept that there's certain things that I don't know and will never know. I
Right.
mean, sometimes you'll find out things, but often you won't, and unless you deal with somebody a really long time, you know, and I don't think they have like detectives and private eyes, they could really, they could really find out stuff for you there, you know,
Right.
uh, and you don't even know if they're giving you facts.
I hate to
Yeah,
say it. I hate to say it, but I use the term like the doctors say, you know what I mean? Or like when they told my mother, but it's like you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because it's coming. You can believe that. I don't care how good it is. You're looking into each other's eyes. Because it still amazes me that guys are still like, oh no, she doesn't work in the streets. Okay, cool. You're the only one doing gymnastics. I'm not paying anything. But yet you remove them. You put everybody through school and you're giving a weekly allowance for groceries. That's paying. That's paying. That's still paying. So people are bragging about not paying, and it's still paying. and it never stops. It never ever. This girl, a quick story. This girl I was seeing, right? Boy, also, who comes walking in the door? Some awkward looking, skinny white dude. Like, who's that guy? So instantly, I gravitate to the guy. I'm like, I speak English. You speak English. This is before the sosua era, and we're talking and kicking it. And I saw the guy. I maybe met him like twice, maybe. And the sister was dating him, and you could just tell like she was like really like he was like a computer guy or something, and just like she was just digging his pockets out. You know what I mean? Just like
Mm.
every problem that can arise, like you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because you could just see it. It was just like, no, he fixed the car. Because the chick I was dating at the time was very like adamant. She was like very honest. So it sounds like I would just be like really questioning, like, yo, how'd you get the car fixed so quick? Oh, Mike. Oh, really? Oh, Mike. Oh, okay, Mike. Yeah, they're getting married. Like, oof.
Well, I mean, I think it just comes down to sometimes some guys, consciously or whatever, based on how they were brought up, they feel that if they're providing a certain kind of way, um, they're still paying, but they're doing so, but the way they're doing it, there's a human connection, that they have more of a human connection, um, by being a provider and things of that nature, but not directly, giving money for services. Um, and so I mean I can understand that kind of, and often, yeah, in the end that will cost you more money. The traditional route does cost more money in the end, often. If you're just comparing like, dollars to dollars, peso to peso, um, so a lot of times it's a mental, moral, ethic, thing that plays on guys to why they do things the way they do a lot of times.
Well, I mean, settling is just always because they never stop. You haven't. I noticed that's what burns guys out of a game or traveling or whatever, just dealing with the women. It's like the constant hounding of the money. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it could just be damn, like damn, what? Like yes, 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 yes. Here. Just take the 60. Take the yes, yes, yes. Because what the baby lady used to do to me all the time was, my mother wants to speak to you. Like about what? If one, I'm not going to understand. Okay.
Yeah,
And two, it's like I already know what it's about. Like, what is this sneak attack about? Like, can
right.
you come by the house today? Like, no.
Well, it's kind of like, yeah, or whenever someone usually like messages mostly these one liners to you, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they send you like a book, you know,
Right.
you're like, that's nothing. She's not telling me how great I am, you know, she's not telling me how much I mean to her. That's a straight up, that's nothing I want to read right away. It's, it's, there's a lot of por favors and, you know, um, emergency. There's a story involved, that, like I say, that is not for our benefit. And it's like, it's kind of like just in general. When a woman says we need to talk, usually it's not to give you your props for nothing. It's there's a problem, you know, uh, um, or she has
Right.
a problem. Uh,
Well, I mean, there's always in this game gonna be a problem. Mission control. You know what I mean? It's always you're always like 8 steps ahead of the problem. Like NASA with the Apollo 19 or 18, whatever it was. It was like I want to have every contingency, and there's only really three: more money, more money, more money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's like, okay, sometimes I fool myself and just think, like, yeah, we're in a real relationship. Like the Dominican Mother's Day, we went out to Cabaret. She got all, done up. Looked good. She looked good. It was good gymnastics that night. She looked good. Sweet, holding hands. I only hold hands in Cabaret.
Yeah.
Holding hands, and it was a breezy night, and we had walked in there. It was like me and this other brother, and we both kind of looked at each other like, "Damn, you too." like we're in the processing room in the precinct. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you too. And it was
Hold
kind of like,
hands. Well, I guess that's a little better. Hold hands in cabaret is better than
yeah.
holding hands on Pedro Clasante. Um,
Oh, way better,
yeah.
way better.
Yeah.
Give me some money. Listen, I've learned the difference between the ones like, "Hello, my name is Damon," and they're like, "What's your name?" And just say their name and be like, "Okay," and then be like 10 seconds later, like, "Give me some money." As opposed to the ones that just wait and bide their time. They're like patient hunters in the woods with like a rifle, just like been there like 20 hours waiting, not even breathing, and they take the shot. I like those. I like the more patient, calm ones that wait. You know what I mean? Wait for there to be a real problem to ask for a little extra money.
Yeah. Yeah. My battery's about to die probably. Way it's
Okay,
look
it was a good show.
way it's looking,
Good
but
show.
yeah,
You
good.
want to briefly, hey, you want to just briefly just tell everybody, like, kind of like what a little bit of what exactly it is? I know you said it before, but just before you go, just like a little minute, quite run through like what, because people are asking like crazy. Like, what is it? What is it? What is it? So you just want to run down like what exactly is your, I guess, prognosis?
Well, I'm about to have a artificial aorta valve installed, which you know
So,
it's a minor procedure compared to open
say it
heart
one more time. You broke
surgery.
up.
Well, I'm about to have heart surgery. Not open heart, but it's kind of minor procedure, less invasive version. But I'm about to have got a problem with my aorta valve, which it's a genetic condition. My pops is 84, had his replaced like 20 some years ago. Um, and uh, it's something that I knew I was gonna have to do at some point. They told me like 15 years ago, could be a problem later. I just figured something else would kill me before this, um, or I'd make it to like 60 before having this. But so that's what it is. About to get a aorta valve, basically an artificial aorta valve installed. Um, so minor heart procedure, basically. So it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do, and then hopefully, I don't know, April, May. Hopefully, I'll be back in Sosua, traveling about, and
That's dope.
move on.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. When is this? When is the scheduled surgery?
February 23rd.
February 23rd, y'all. So make sure you go on the Rico channel and just support. Just still watch the. Yeah, I mean, you had some great material. So I mean, I was trying to find your Super Bowl coverage and I couldn't find it. Because you had quite a few, but I'm telling everybody just to see what it's like and get some more knowledge of game. Go to Rico Toro's page.
Yeah, and,
Hit like, subscribe.
I'm still picking up some decent amount of new subs, and I'm thankful for that. Just
Right.
like I said, I didn't really have anything concrete because I was kind of getting a runaround. You know, I guess I'm on like my fourth team of different cardiologists right now. Um,
Right.
Between starting the process in DR to one hospital in Pensacola here, and then another one, and then up in Gainesville getting transferred, and I've had you know I was in the hospital for 2 weeks when I first got here. Thought they were on top of it. They transferred me to like a place that's supposed to be the best, but my insurance wasn't right at that time. I just had the VA, and then I just felt like they just wanted to make money at that location, and then you know and then felt better after a minor procedure they did, then felt worse, and instead of improving, and spent another week in a different hospital, and where they referred me to where I'm at now. So I'm been going to New Orleans, and I go to New Orleans. It's like they do like CT scans, echocardiograms, EKG, X-ray. They do it all in one day because they know I'm coming from out of town. And this most recent appointment, I said, my hopes were kind of high from the last surgeon I spoke to here, so I want some kind of commitment before I leave. And they called me the next day and scheduled the surgery. So it's kind of
Dope.
like the lottery phone call I was waiting on almost. Just we're making progress instead of just the same old, going in circles. So, anyways, appreciate the well wishes, the
Yeah.
prayers, and
Let, let's do this
things,
again real soon, bro.
things
You
of that
know,
nature.
when you're up to it, let's do it again. Let's do it again real
Yeah,
soon. If you feel like you want to just talk about something, hit me and we can do it again, dog.
yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt.
All right, doggy.
All right, all right, y'all. Be
Peace.
good. All right, peace.
All right. That was an amazing show. Live. Spontaneous. The great Rico Toro. Chicas, chica, chica. We out there tonight, shaking, moving. The peripheral squirrels on you. I thought he brought up some very good points. I tried to let him speak. I tried to let him, really bring it. I was hoping for more people, more views, but maybe the title. I should have changed the title. But hey, people coming in and out. We've got some peepers. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Really good dude with really good news, and we've been trying to do this show now for like a week and a half now. And you know, probably had the right Wi-Fi because the other Airbnb I was at was not the right Wi-Fi. So maybe we'll do like a weekend after the Super Bowl show if he's up to it. He's been doing really good with his energy wise, and keep the prayers up for the dude, man, because he's I don't think he's out of the woods yet, but like I said, he just got some really good news, and just gonna keep supporting him. Just like I said, go to his channel, man. Watch the old videos. I'm trying to tell him like, yo, you guys send him, some messages saying, hey, come on, do some shorts, do some, keep the name going, keep the Rico Toro channel going, keep the vibe, keep the energy going. You know what I'm saying? But all hail the great Rico Toro. Guys, enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday.